step toward better health.
SM Group International Limited, your solutions partner for the latest innovations, brands and competent staff to meet your needs. We provide products and services in the following divisions: executive services, event rental and services, power and heavy equipment, construction and property management, food and beverage, aggregate and sales and distribution. Check out more on our products and services at www.smgrouptt.com. Contact us at 221-7445 or email at info@smgrouptt.com. We are SM Group International, your solutions partner.
My name is Dr. Stephen Carroll, the CEO at Community Hospital of Seventh-day Adventist, and we are committed to making good private health care affordable.
For all your medical needs, including dental, radiology, laparoscopy, behavioral and mental health, along with many other services, contact us for more information at 235-5479.
Community Hospital of Seventh-day Adventist,
where good private health care is affordable.
Every day, we communicate through stories. Stories of ourselves, our challenges, our goals, our experiences, and our aspirations. Storytelling is an art that we have mastered. WESN Film Studios comprises a collaborative team of experts with extensive industry experience locally, regionally, and internationally. The ability of your business to successfully communicate with your preferred audience depends on the strength of the stories you tell. Your vision should be communicated in a high-quality, professional, and creative way. From concept to post-production, advertising to film, multi-camera productions, live events, streaming, and virtual conferencing, we are WESN Film Studio. Let your own unique voice be heard and your vision realized. Call us today at 628-5835 for your next production.
Get ready for the biggest business-to-business event of the year, the Trade and Investment Convention, happening on July 17th to 19th at the Centre of Excellence in the Koya. Doors open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on business days and 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Consumer Day. Dress code in effect for business days. Park and ride available from Constantine Park and UETGR North Car Park all days, and NAM Devco on the 17th and 19th. Sponsored by the Ministry of Trade, Investment and Tourism, Exim Bank, Balroop Group and Bmobile Business.
WESN.
Good morning and welcome to AM Prime on WESN. I'm Naomi Mathnish.
And I'm Jada McLeod.
So, how are you, Jada, this morning? Jada's joining me via Zoom while I'm in the studio.
Yes, I am good. The day is good. It started off really rocky, and it's only 6 o'clock. But, you know, on WESN, we have a spirit to move on, we have a spirit to go, and that is what I am embodying. How are you today, Naomi?
Good. Today's also good, Feel Good Friday, so.
We're feeling good.
Yeah.
And we hope to all our viewers and listeners out there that you are also feeling good, because it is a Friday and you should embody the spirit of freeness. You're Trinidadian. Freedom is your middle name.
Yeah. All right, so our first conversation this morning, we have someone who has been on the show before. He is putting together a fundraiser for a new phase of his life journey, partnering with production company Chandler Productions to restage one of his choral presentations, Where We From. So to talk about that with us this morning is Michael Hudlin. Good morning, Mr. Hudlin.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right, you are preparing to take your passion to the global stage. There's some big dreams I'm seeing that you are embarking on, and we could not be prouder of you. So can you tell us a little bit more? We start with you as a composer. Who is Michael Hudlin as the composer?
Oh, that's a very good question. I can say my dad composes, right? My dad writes music for the Catholic Church, so I have been living around music my entire life. And I first put my hand to paper around the age of 14. I wrote some short little pieces for the church that exist in my mind and the church choir that I used to sing at when I was a child. But the first composition I say I fully wrote, I was probably about 15, and that composition is actually in the show. That's the opening movement of the show. That composition I wrote for CSEC, and it was a massive piece composed for choir, and it's divided into 8 parts. Normally choral music is written for 4 parts, which are soprano, alto, tenor, and bass. But I decided, you know what, let's add some more. So
you're really, what, 16, 17?
Yeah, I was 15, 16 because I finished the composition in Form 4, somewhere around in Form 4. So I had just turned 15.
Wow.
So from there, I completed the work. So in 2016, I premiered my first composition, my first full work, which was about 15 minutes of music, and I was about 18 at that point. And from there, I just keep composing whenever I feel inspired. I tended to tell people I write music in 2 scenarios. One, when I can't find what I want to program, I write my own song. I'm just like, I know what I want it to sound like. I know what I want it to feel like, so I'm just going to write it. And the second time, it's a little less frequent, is when inspiration strikes. And for me, inspiration usually comes when I'm driving on the highway because I'm always driving somewhere far. And I'll just start to think of something, and I say, okay, and I'll just put my phone to record, and I will sing the melody or I'll sing the rhythm, and then when I get home, I usually sit and flesh it out.
So you're quite the achiever when it comes to you as a composer, because you're telling me it's something 8 parts. What's that called? And then you have a quartet, and then you have the or do we just say 8 part because we're like, we can't?
So we'll say DVC. DVC means divided. So we'll say 8-part DVC. So that way we know the soprano splits in 2, the alto splits in 2, and so forth and so on.
Okay, that is really cool. I like that. Okay. So the name of this concert is called Where We From. So how connected are you as a conductor to your Trinbago roots? And why did you choose to name it Where We From? Because that's very colloquial. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I remember I was working with a group, and someone said something a little snarky to me. And it really did hit me. I was probably about 21, 22 at the time. They said when they go away, they come back and they forget all the Caribbean roots. And that really, really hit me because I grew up singing calypso.
Yeah.
My father from Diablo. Like my father used to do West Village with his sisters and his cousins, and they act. You could tell me I'm not from Trinidad. So it really, really hit me. And I felt as though, not necessarily to prove that I am Caribbean, or Trinidadian, but to say that we have to understand that our heritage as Trinidadians is not only African, Indian, and Chinese and all these other cultures that we have here, but it's also Western and it's also European. So with all these identities, we have to be able to meld them together and be able to merge them together. And that's what I'm trying to do with this concert, because this concert, it says what makes me Trinidadian. It's the music that I grew up listening to, the food I ate, the dances we did, the way we speak. But I also got into classical music at a very young age. I started piano classes at 7, and I started singing in choir at 12. So I understand that these identities do not make me less Trinidadian, but more.
Is your version of a callaloo?
Basically.
Okay, so tell us a little bit more about the program that you are embarking on abroad.
Yes. So this is a Doctor of Musical Arts. So it's a DMA. If you're familiar with PhD. Sorry?
I've never heard of a DMA. That's really cool.
Yes, DMA. If you're familiar with PhD is Doctor of Philosophy. So DMA is Doctor of Musical Arts. And this degree is a much more practical degree. So I have 2 years of conducting. I will be directing either some of the choirs on campus. I will be conducting. I'll be teaching conducting. And then I also have my final year of research. So it's a 3-year degree. And most people usually do this degree when they're trying to get into lecturing or trying to get into universities as teachers. And that's really and truly my ultimate goal. I love teaching. I love lecturing. I've been doing it part-time at the University of the West Indies. And I really want to get into it fully. So hopefully this degree will help me significantly with that.
Wow. Where do you plan to study? Do you know yet?
Yeah, I've been accepted. I received my acceptance since April. I'm going to the University of Maryland, College Park.
Oh, okay. That's nice. I have a friend who she didn't go, but she spoke about the University of Maryland and she wanted to go at a point in time, and I think it was for a similar. It may not be the exact thing, but it was something around the arts. Culture. Yeah.
What about some of the challenges that you would have faced? Because I know that the reason you're having this fundraiser is because it's probably really expensive to go and do an entire doctorate, right? But what about any other maybe technical challenges that you faced in repurposing where we're from?
Well, first of all, I will admit, this was not my first choice. My producer, Tiana Chandler, she said, Michael, it's a great show. It's an awesome program. You really should do it again. People love it. It just feels familiar. And to be leaving to do a job, a degree where I want to do this as my study. I want to study Caribbean music, and I want to study how can I merge Caribbean music and classical music. Then this is really the program that you need to do. You really need to do this program.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about how if there would be any differences with the 2025 version of your work versus the other year?
So I don't like to do the same thing twice. So I have changed some of the songs in the program. Actually, I will be singing in this program, which is something I have not done since 2016.
Wow.
Also, I recomposed a few of the movements. So I changed the music for some of them. And also I've gotten I've gotten the primary school that I help in San Fernando, and the Memorial Girls Anglican.
I think we lost. Oh, Michael, I think you muted.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
So the last part, what you said.
Yes, I was saying that I'm collaborating with Anstey Memorial Girls Anglican in San Fernando. They will be singing in the show as well.
Okay, and that's something new.
Yes, that's different from the last time.
Nice.
It's a great opportunity for them. The fact that you are incorporating, and one thing we love on the show is community, because what you're building that community. I remember when I was in secondary school, an opportunity like this would have been amazing for me. Not only because like it's I get to sing, I get to get recognized as this and that, but it helps me to build my connections outside. So I like the fact that you're extending this opportunity to the school, to the students. But what about this? This is a personal concept for you, or are you more so creating it for the benefit or the entertainment of others? Or is it just something you're keeping close to your chest?
I believe when I write music, it's not for me. It's for somebody to hear, because I can hear it in my head and I'll be fine. But there is nothing like live music. There is nothing like it. I was having a conversation with a friend last night, and I was telling him that I remember the first time I heard a choir live. I was 12, and it was the most amazing thing ever. I just felt my entire body vibrate when they were singing. And that is the experience that I would like every audience member to have. YouTube is fine, Spotify is great, television is wonderful, but there is nothing like sitting down in a theater and hearing or seeing a choir or a band or orchestra or play happen live.
Yes, I
second that.
I love one of my favorite, like my idea of a great like first date, or just even a personal date, and on the solo dates, is to sit down and listen to music live, because I love music. I don't really have the talent behind it, but I love music, and just to be able to sit down, and I know what you're talking about, that feeling when you first hear that. So they come out and they sing. If it's not a solo, they come out and they sing, and you hear the harmonies and the melody. It's just like, whoa, that's when you start to think, oh yeah, God is real. Or those lines. I completely understand what you're saying.
Yes, it's unmatched. It really is.
It is. It really is. One of the great things.
So do you plan to, when you go to do your studies, do you plan to take any of your work and Caribbean touches and, kind of spread that and share that over there?
I am doing it slowly. So I've already programmed a Jamaican piece for this coming semester. So I'm working with the men's choir called Tactus at the university. So I've already sent it. You see, they gave me homework. I already have to choose my music and send them programming and all of those things. So I've started there. And hopefully I'm going to continue to insert myself slowly but surely, because the school actually has a pan ensemble. So if I can get to work with the steel orchestra there, that will also be a great insight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that hard for you though? Like, is it some source of imposter syndrome when you feel like you're coming from a small country to somewhere bigger, where it's hard for you, as you said, to like assert yourself?
I felt like that during my master's. At my master's, I went to the Eastman School of Music, which is a very, very, very prestigious school, very up there. And it was hard. I remember sitting down in classes with doctoral students and undergraduate students, and I'm there as a master's student, and I'm listening to them, and I said, I don't know what these people are talking about. I was like, what is happening? And these undergraduate students are running circles around me, and I'm just like, what is happening? That only happened at my first class. I did not let it happen again. Did not. But at this school, I feel a lot more comfortable. And gratefully, the person who's in charge of my program is a Trinidadian. So
Nice.
I feel as though, even though I may not be able to get everything I want, I feel as though I can at least broach the conversation and he will understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Because it'll be great to hear, like, be on YouTube one day and see the University of Maryland composes some sort of arrangement of Differentology by Bungie or something like that. That will be cool. And it's like composed by Michael Hudlin. Yeah, come on.
Oh, that would be great. Look at you giving me ideas. Yeah, no, I really think that I want people to understand choral music is much more than just, you know, the Hallelujah choruses or the Glorias from Vivaldi or anything like that. Those are great. But we run the gamut here in Trinidad and Tobago because we can do the Vivaldi and the Handel and the Bach and the Beethoven, but we could also do the Desmond Waits and the John Jacobs and, you know, all our local composers that we have here. There's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of music to be written, and there are people here who are willing to sing it.
Yes, I challenge you within the next 5 years to write an arrangement of Shake It to the Max.
Sorry.
I think it'd be really cool. But yeah,
I'm hearing it in my head, and it's going to be hilarious. It's going to be.
No, it's great. It's really such a music tune, you know.
I'm just hearing the sopranos going. Shake it to the max.
No, and then like the baritones follow them afterwards, and it's just kind of like shake it.
I think if anybody can make that happen and make it sound angelic, you deserve to do what you do.
Oh, goodness me.
So, Michael, tell us, so date and time, cost, where can we get tickets to the show?
Yes. So the shows are on the 19th, Saturday the 19th of July at All Saints Anglican Church in Port of Spain. The show in San Fernando is on the 27th of July, which is a Sunday, at St. Benedict's RC Church in La Romaine. You can get tickets at those church offices. You can contact us at 710-9436 or 295-7435, or you can visit our website at chandelierproductionstt.com, or find us on social media, Instagram or Facebook at Chandelier Productions or Production Chandelier on Instagram.
You have to look.
And tickets are $200.
Yeah. So it's 2 days, the 19th of July and the 27th of July. I know we have a flyer, so we'll put that up just now. It's 2 different locations, I'm saying, yeah, on the 2 different days. Okay. So the 19th of July is the All Saints Church, Anglican Church, and the 27th of July, St. Benedict's RC Church. Yeah.
Can you repeat 2 forms of contracts? Just 2.
295-7435 and 710-9436. And that's for me or Tiana.
Okay. People who are driving maybe and listening, or they can't really write down the number. What's a quick Instagram, something short?
Yeah, just find us Production Chandelier on Instagram. And all the information will be there. Or you can just find Chandelier Productions TT on Facebook.
Okay, that's great.
Yes.
So tickets $200, the 19th and the 27th of July. I'm not sure when we can get the flyer up on the screen because it's a really pretty flyer. Mm-hmm. It's the Trinidadian Tobagonian flag. Where are we from? All right, so we wish you the best of luck, Mr. Hudlin, or Composer Hudlin. Do we say that? Am I just doing too much?
No, Mr. Hudlin is fine. Michael is fine.
Yes. All right, so where we from? You're pursuing your Doctor of Musical Arts in Choral Conducting at the, as you would have previously mentioned, All Saints and Anglican Church in Port of Spain and the St. Benedict's RC Church in San Fernando. So we've got options. You guys, we have options at 7 p.m. On the 19th of July and 6:30 p.m. and on the 27th.
And tickets are $200. Only $200. So
Only.
We expecting the concert to be?
Sorry?
How long are we expecting the concert to be?
Just about an hour and a half.
Okay. How many songs would fit into something like that?
I think this program is about 20-something songs. It's not.
You want to work?
I'm not working. The choir is working. They are singing for the majority of the show. They're putting in the work, really are.
That's beautiful, man. The fact that you're composing for the choir. So you're there every day training with them, rehearsing with them.
We've been rehearsing since June, the beginning of June. And I'm very particular when it comes to rehearsals because I start no matter who's there. If there's 2 people, I am starting. And we work really hard, especially since I usually have a vision of how I want the music to sound. But also, I responded to whatever the choir gives me. So if the choir does something that I like, I say, ooh, okay, we're keeping that. We're going to do that again, right? And that way, I want them to understand that they themselves are musicians. A lot of choral singers, they grew up singing, just with singing in choirs, and the director tells them to do everything. I say, you are a musician.
Yeah.
You make decisions. And with those decisions, we can have a discourse and a back and forth, whether or not it's great or whether or not it doesn't work. And that's just all part of being a musician. I wouldn't tell you you're singing it wrong. I'll just say, that was nice. I didn't think about doing it like that.
Yeah. That's a leadership mindset. But I know we have to start to wrap. But can you tell us what does it mean for you to even be able to compose? Because for some people, they may have the passion or they may have the talent, but they don't get the chance. So what does it mean for you to actually stand up there and live out your dream day to day?
The composing part is fun, but the collaboration and hearing it come to life, there's nothing like it. Genuinely, there's nothing like it. Music doesn't exist on a page. Music exists in the hearts and the ears and the minds of the people who receive it.
I love that mindset. Absolutely love that mindset. And that is what will take you through your doctorate program. Congrats to you for being accepted in the first place, and Godspeed for the rest of the country. Yes.
Thank you.
Of course. So, Naomi, I think that we had a really great interview with Mr. Hudlin here.
Yes, and I don't know if we can put the flyer up now. No? Well, we'll get a flyer up later on in the show, definitely before we close off. So we're going to go take a quick break, and we have another conversation coming up next. So stay tuned for that.
Get ready for the biggest business-to-business event of the year, the Trade and Investment Convention, happening on July 17th to 19th at the Center of Excellence in the Koya. Doors open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on business days and 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Consumer Day. Dress code in effect for business days. Park and ride available from Constantine Park and UETGR North Car Park all days, and NAMDevco on the 17th and 19th. Sponsored by the Ministry of Trade, Investment and Tourism, Exim Bank, Bal Roop Group and Bmobile Business.
This is Face of Sports, WESN Content Capital. How you felt about the kiss on the lip?
That's the business. I'm not to do with that.
I find that was distasteful.
The national senior team, whether you like it or not, that is the model for all other teams to follow.
I'm assuming that the regional requirement may be a much stricter requirement.
This is not about Pro League and Super League. This is a league run by the Normalization Committee that I'm responsible for.
Nobody expected FIFA to fund this arrangement.
If we don't get a professional attitude towards this, we are doomed for failure.
You break the balance, trip the leg, control the body.
They ain't gonna stand put forever.
Why you want the Chiefs to lose so? Why you want the Chiefs to lose so?
They already have 2. Lamar don't
Why?
have.
You're jealous because you know the Chiefs getting closer to the Patriots. Let's go to the last part.
No,
of the game.
no.
Let's go to the last part.
Our award-winning show is back, and this season promises to be even more exciting than before. What's Up, Doc isn't just a title. It's a call to action for anyone who wants to improve their health and well-being. Join us on this thrilling ride towards better health on WESN Content Capital.
We are tackling the hard-hitting topics, some controversial topics, some topics we sweep under the rug. You don't always have to forgive in a relationship for it to move forward.
If it is you are in a situation where you forgive the person, but to the detriment of yourself, what are you really doing?
It is very uncommon for somebody in the younger age group to have dementia.
Atheists don't not believe.
Is that I can't disprove God, but you also can't prove God, so we kind of have a stalemate.
We'll focus on the woman who's been the victim,
right,
or the man has been the victim. We exclude the children.
Folks are trying to study the underlying brain mechanism to figure out how does this particular disorder happen in the brain? How is the brain processing this?
Don't worry about AI, worry about humans working with AI.
Are you willing to learn new skills to stay relevant for the future job market? That's the challenge that people are going to struggle with.
Low energy? Heart concerns? Migraines slowing you down? It's time to take control of your health. Join Wellness Unlocked, the series that brings expert advice and real solutions for a healthier you. In our latest episode, learn how Jameson CoQ10 can help support heart health, boost energy, and even reduce migraines. Get the science, the stories, and the steps to power up your health with CoQ10. Don't miss Wellness Unlocked. Watch now on WESN and start your wellness journey today.
My name is Dr. Joanne Williams-Carroll, and I am the Director of Behavioral and Mental Health at the Community Hospital. At the Community Hospital, we believe in nurturing mind, body, and soul. Through our counseling and chaplaincy program, we will provide you with support and strength you need to help with your mental and emotional well-being.
Give us a call.
The Community Hospital of Seventh-day Adventist,
where good private health care is affordable.
Pastor J, I want to get a tattoo.
You really want
to me. Respond to me how you would respond to me.
The first question I'd ask is why?
Controversial taboo topics.
We get so consumed by church, we forget that we have to live the life of being a Christian outside of the Sunday.
Like you say,
services.
we think going to a service makes us a Christian.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. So here we are about to hear the second time Pastor J wanted to take a tattoo.
Would have been late last year and early this year.
Oh gosh.
Hope Unfiltered podcast with Pastor J and Ren.
FanZone, your reliable, authentic supplier, has just gotten better. You can now visit our website www.fanzonett.com for your authentic wear and collectibles. The only place where you can use both your Visa debit and credit cards. Visit our website fanzonett.com to make your purchase today.
This is 10 Questions. I'm Andy Johnson. The distance from where we should be in the world in going forward on our commitments with climate change.
The effects of climate change that cannot be accounted for, it's called loss and damage. And we're seeing loss and damage happening so much more in this decade and the previous decade.
The principal term there was this question of the correspondent banking issues.
That is why we're trying to build capacity with this country here, Trinidad and Tobago, and other countries in the region.
Man is not showing any signs of stopping or even slowing down. More than half of the forest in Trinidad is already gone.
All the plants and all the animals and all of the nice clean water and fresh air and everything had to be on this planet for humanity to have a chance.
We have small change when it comes to countries that can take decisions, and when they speak, the world listens.
The General Assembly is a very democratic forum. And Trinidad and Tobago has the same vote as Canada, in spite of the obvious difference in size.
Welcome back to the program. So we were to have another conversation with somebody from TTMA about the TIC event. It's a Trade and Investment Conference 2025. So we had an issue with that, so they're not joining us this morning anymore, but we can still discuss it. So the Trade and Investment Conference, which will be held from the 17th of July to the 19th of July, so it's a weekend. This is the 26th year of TIC. So TIC has been around for over 2 decades, right? Some of the sponsors include the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Exim Bank, Bmobile Business, and Balroop Group, as well as IDB Invest. The theme this year is Business Beyond Borders. So some of the different aspects of TIC, you have the exhibitors. So exhibitors host over 330 booths representing 15 different countries and sponsor pavilions and exhibiting companies from 28 different sectors. The 330 booths account for over 300 exhibitors, right? Some of these sectors are food and beverage, construction and accessory products, packaging and labeling, energy, craft, accessories, jewelry, government services, machinery, business support organization, transportation and storage, information, technology, communication, music, film, insurance, interior design, automotive, electrical, and the list goes on. This year, there are over 1,700 buyers from 27 different countries. Some of these buyers are the result of TTMA's trade missions, where TTMA personally extended invitations to buyers to visit TIC. This happens each year. Some of the countries registered, we have Nigeria, Grenada, United States, Suriname, Guyana, Bangladesh, Trinidad and Tobago, Colombia, Cuba, Dominica, Jamaica, Antigua and Barbuda, Turks and Caicos, India, Afghanistan, Venezuela, and the list goes on as well. So, yeah, that's the TIC in a nutshell, as much as I can say right now.
Yeah, I wanted to also highlight the fact that they have their seminars, B2B, B2B business.
Business beyond borders, yeah.
So one thing I'm seeing here about the seminars, because I know that they have some very powerful speakers coming down to host certain seminars for the businesses and for the participants, and they promise life-changing, positive change in your business. But if there's a formula that can get you there faster, to success faster, then of course we want to attend one of the seminars. I know that there is a cost attached to coming to an entire conference like this. It is a huge conference where you will get a lot of value.
Yes.
I'm not sure of the price breakdown right now, but I know, because I think it's different from if you're going with a company versus if you're going as a individual participant.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's a lot. It's what days is it? Days are is it from the 17th to the 19th? So it's days.
And it's going to be held at the Center of Excellence, Macoya, Trinidad and Tobago. So one thing to mention, WESN will be at the TIC conference. We will be at booth number 229. We are there from the 17th to the 19th. So y'all can come by once you're at the event and just pass by our booth. We will all be there. Myself, Jada, Sean, and some of our other guys from behind the scenes as well. So y'all can definitely come talk to us, engage, and we have some giveaways and deals for businesses, as well as the general public. Yeah.
Fantastic couple of days where you can come and not just learn more about business, but I think when you are engaged in something like this, you also learn a lot about yourself. So yeah, come through, come to see WESN, come to meet us and hear more about the deals that we have on display, the deals that we have on offer for you, and of course just come to be a part, be in that space. Is something great about being in a space like that, especially if you are an entrepreneur or a business owner. It can only inspire you or take you further. So do your best to attend at least one of the days, or 3 if you can.
Yeah.
We should get a price breakdown on this because I remember seeing it.
There's a what do you call a barcode to scan on the flyer.
Yes.
So you can register as a buyer or you can register as a consumer. Right, and then you can also visit at TICTT_2025, and there you'll find more information and the ticket prices and price breakdown, etc. TIC sales at ttma.com. That's for your ticket sales. Yeah.
Many different offerings. I'm really liking this. And you know, we can't wait to come out and meet you guys there as well, because we know that some of you will be there once you're able to make it. Again, it's 3 days. Pick one and come see us. Come hear what we have to say. Again, our booth is, can we say the number again?
229.
229. All right, so come meet with us at the Center of Excellence from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. All right, so I think we are going to take another short break and then we will be right back with you. It is Good News Friday, so stay tuned.
Get ready for the biggest business-to-business event of the year. The Trade and Investment Convention, happening on July 17th to 19th at the Center of Excellence in the Koya. Doors open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on business days and 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. on consumer day. Dress code in effect for business days. Park and ride available from Constantine Park and UETGR North Car Park all days, and NAM Devco on the 17th and 19th. Sponsored by the Ministry of Trade, Investment and Tourism, Exim Bank, Bal Roop Group and Bmobile Business.
My name is Dr. Joanne Williams Carroll, and I am the Director of Behavioral and Mental Health at the Community Hospital. At the Community Hospital, we believe in nurturing mind, body, and soul. Through our counseling and chaplaincy program, we will provide you with support and strength you need to help with your mental and emotional well-being. Give us a call.
The Community Hospital of Seventh-day Adventist,
where good private health care is affordable.
Struggling with heart health or frequent migraines? Discover the simple steps to reclaim your energy and vitality.
We're diving into a topic that affects about 422 million people around the world: diabetes.
Tune into Wellness Unlocked, the series that delivers expert advice, practical tips, and inspiring stories to help you take control of your health and well-being. Your health matters. Don't miss Wellness Unlocked. Watch now on WESN and take the first step toward better health.
If these walls could talk, they'd cry uncle. They didn't plan to become offices or yoga studios, but they've stood by us, even when we got a little stir-crazy. For that, they deserve some thanks. They deserve Benjamin Moore.
This is 10 Questions. I'm Andy Johnson. The distance from where we should be in the world in going forward on our commitments with climate change.
The effects of climate change that cannot be accounted for. It's called loss and damage. And we're seeing loss and damage happening so much more in this decade and the previous decade.
The principal term there was this question of the correspondent banking issues.
That is why we're trying to build capacity with this country here, Trinidad and Tobago, and other countries in the region.
Man is not showing any signs of stopping or even slowing down. More than half of the forest in Trinidad is already gone.
All the plants and all the animals and all of the nice clean water and fresh air and everything had to be on this planet for humanity to have a chance.
We have small change when it comes to countries that can take decisions, and when they speak, the world listens.
The General Assembly is a very democratic forum. And Trinidad and Tobago has the same vote as Canada, in spite of the obvious difference in size.
Our award-winning show is back, and this season promises to be even more exciting than before. What's Up, Doc isn't just a title, it's a call to action for anyone who wants to improve their health and well-being. Join us on this thrilling ride towards better health on WESN Content Capital.
Money is something we all deal with, but how many of us truly understand it? What if you could make better decisions with your money? Decisions that secure your future, protect your family, and bring you peace of mind. I'm Darren Jacobs, and I'm here to help you make sense of your dollars. Welcome to Dollars and Cents, the show that breaks down the financial world in ways that matter to you. No jargon, no confusion, just real conversations about money, your money. So join me every Wednesday at 10 a.m. on WESN for Dollars and Cents.
You are watching Strictly Legal on WESN Content Capital. Just give an overview of what exactly is that split arrangement.
Nah, you don't need to register nothing. We can do that another time. But then it becomes a hit, and then everybody starts to want to claim.
The laws that predate many of the independent countries' constitutions are going to be those colonial laws.
We know there are an infinite amount of circumstances that would lead to a murder.
I have a great idea and I have a great concept, but until it's actually expressed, it does not become intellectual property.
Accomplishments or targets of a forensic accountant is to quantify what may have been lost.
We believe we defend criminals and we manipulated the law and we exploited the system.
A responsible journalist will reach out to the person who they have the information on for a comment.
All right, welcome back to the program. So it is good, Feel Good Friday. So we have a few stories that we got online for you that we found it made you feel good, it made you smile. So the first one, it's a groundbreaking gene therapy that restores hearing in children born deaf. So this was a remarkable breakthrough. All 10 participants in a recent gene therapy trial had their hearing restored after being born completely deaf due to a rare genetic condition. The children and young adults aged between 1 and 24 were treated for mutations in the OTOF gene, a gene critical for transmitting sound signals from the inner ear to the brain. The therapy used a modified virus to deliver a working copy of the gene directly into the inner ear through a single injection. So the results have been described as nothing short of extraordinary. Within just a month, participants began to show significant hearing improvement, and after 6 months, average hearing levels improved from severe deafness, around 106 decibels, to moderate hearing loss, around 52 decibels. In one standout case, a 7-year-old girl who had never heard a word in her life was able to have a full conversation with her mother after just a few months. The trial, conducted with oversight from multiple international medical institutions, reported no serious side effects, making it one of the most successful and safest gene therapy studies for hearing loss to date. The results also mark a turning point in the treatment of hereditary deafness and open the door to similar therapies targeting other hearing-related genes. So scientists are calling this only the beginning, with hopes that such therapies could eventually eliminate certain types of congenital deafness altogether. Long-term follow-ups are underway to ensure the benefits last, but for now, this success is a massive leap forward in restoring not just hearing, but a new quality of life for children born with deafness. So, what are your thoughts, Jada? To me, that's incredible. I love when there are medical breakthroughs that work, you know?
Work well, especially as you're telling me that it works for children, because I know that they're saying for cognitive deafness, early identification and intervention are crucial, and it happens, cognitive deafness is what happens at birth, so when you're deaf from birth. So hearing that this is something that can specifically target children, I mean, of course it could be for anyone, but specifically target children, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I feel like sometimes we get so sensitized to bad stuff that something like this almost goes over your head. This is amazing. It's as you said, it's a medical breakthrough that will impact the lives of so many different people. More people are out there that have some sort of deafness, maybe it's partial or full, that you don't even know.
Yeah.
You know, you don't even know, but there are people around you who are going through certain things that you wouldn't even believe. And paying attention to stuff like this, I think, is really important, because now you know exactly what can help. You can tell somebody about something that can help them. So I really hope that this is something they continue to work on, and that it reaches globally. It reaches down here in Trinidad. We could use it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
It's so cool. She heard her mother's voice for the first time, and after it just took a couple of months, and then she was able to hear. I mean, how wonderful would that be?
Yeah.
All the you're signing, or you're learning how to communicate in other ways, but now you're hearing the voice that took care of you, that takes care of you.
Yeah. I know they're also working on a type of gene therapy as well for the sickle cell disease, and that is something that has been happening for a long time, and there was no significant breakthrough concerning that yet. So seeing this is, you know, it gives you hope that, okay, they were able to do have a breakthrough for deafness, then anything could be possible. Well, it is, right? So that was one story that I think was appropriate for our Feel Good segment.
Thanks for bringing that to my attention. I like it. And again, I think if I like it, all viewers are gonna like it.
If you like that one, you're gonna like this one. So this one is extremely heartwarming. So there's this bird called jelly bean, right? It's a magpie. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but in 2020, wildlife carer Sandy Gillard from Esperance in Western Australia suffered a fall from a second-story veranda. The impact left her unconscious with a cracked skull and a dislocated arm. As she laid on the cement driveway, former patient Jelly Bean, a magpie Sandy had rescued and raised years later, began lightly tapping her forehead until she regained consciousness. This gave her just enough time to call out, allowing her husband to alert emergency services. She was then flown to Royal Perth Hospital and ultimately saved thanks to Jelly Bean's timely intervention. So Jelly Bean is a bird, right? So a little backstory. Sandy first encountered Jelly Bean in 2017 when a tiny magpie, unable to fly after falling from its nest, was brought to her garden. She cared for it until it fledged, and Jelly Bean continued to visit her home and her family frequently, even interacting with Sandy's grandchildren and gently knocking on doors for attention. So Sandy saved Jelly Bean initially because Jelly Bean fell out of its nest. Right? She took it and she cared for it, and until it was able to fly off on its own. And Jelly Bean obviously remembered her and what she did, and kind of created a bond with her. Yeah. Right? So when she fell out of her window, which I think is so ironic, right? She fell out of her window some years later, and Jelly Bean came and started tapping her forehead to wake her up because she lost consciousness. So Jelly Bean helped her regain her consciousness, and then she was able to alert her husband, as the story said. That's really cool.
Oh, Jelly Bean. I feel like we have a couple of good stories. I like that. But following your story that you would have talked about with the little girl who was able to hear her mom's voice because they have a medical breakthrough for cognitive deafness, there's a drug trial that's being hailed as a milestone for leukemia treatment. As you know, cancer is something that plagues millions of people all over the world, but a new drug pathway is transforming the lives of people with leukemia and can revolutionize how the disease is treated. So a study found a new combination drug therapy, so two drugs working together. It significantly outperformed chemotherapy for patients with chronic lymphocytic leukemia, or what they call CLL. So it's called a FLAIR trial, FLAIR, where it followed close to 800 people who previously had untreated CLL across 96 health centers. Participants were randomly assigned to receive standard chemotherapy, which is a single targeted drug called ibrutinib. But the study found that what they're doing is they're taking two drugs together, ibrutinib and something called venetoclax. So dosing patients together with those two drugs is what's helping them. So they said that after about 5 years, 94% of the patients who received the duo drugs were alive with no disease progression. That is without chemotherapy, compared to those who had about 79% or 58% with standard chemotherapy. So that is a big jump from 58% to 94%. That is a big jump. So they're hailing it as a milestone, which it is, and it has the potential to change the lives of so many different people and their families. So coming across this story, I thought it was a really cool story. They're showing that a chemotherapy-free approach is possible, but not just that it's possible, but that it is effective. So, I mean, we always say about chemotherapy being the fix for cancer, being the treatment for cancer, but the fact that they're coming up with new ways to treat people without them having to go through something as what people call traumatizing as chemotherapy, I think is a good thing. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a good thing as well. Yeah.
I mean, there's news out there that just doesn't get enough media attention, I think, or enough attention in general.
Well, that's what this segment is here for, to highlight these stories and these little things that occur that don't get the attention that it should, especially when somebody does something really nice, when something extraordinary happens, like this drug for cancer, as well as the gene therapy for the cognitive deafness. And when we have these breakthroughs, it deserves a spotlight of its own.
Because then what that's going to help the scientists or the people that are developing these drugs to help people who are suffering with things unimaginable to us is it gives not just attention, but what about the money that comes from that? The more people know about it, more investment is put into it by governments, by private entities, by the scientists themselves. And we want more of that. We want more people out there working to target the problems that plague us as humanity.
Yeah.
So it's always put eyeballs on stories like this. It's not just about the bacchanal that's happening in Parliament, guys. Yes, it's sometimes entertaining to watch, and of course you should be watching it. What's going on in the House of Reds, but it's also important to pay attention to the things that are changing your life day by day in ways that you can't even imagine how it is. But things that are going to be affecting you, like this medical treatment, like the treatment for the cognitive deafness, like a story like Jollibee. No, sorry, not Jollibee, Jellybean. Jellybean?
Jellybean.
Jellybean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Jellybean, I mean, as you said, it was quite ironic how he fell out his window, the lady helped him. She fell out her window, he helped the lady. He's like, I'm returning.
I'm just returning the favor. Mm-hmm.
And he'll probably
I think Mr. Mead would be, he would love to hear a story like that. So we have to remember to tell him next week at Wild Wednesday.
For sure, but Naomi and WESN and Prime viewers, I forgot to tell you, I found this huge, and I should leave this for Wednesday, this huge iguana in my yard yesterday, and I immediately called Mr. Mead because I was like, how do I even deal with this? In the end, he told me we did a good job. Yeah, so I feel like I learned a couple of things.
What did you do?
Well, for starters, we didn't chase them off anywhere into the neighbor's yard because we know where I live. If anybody was to see that, they would take that and cook it immediately. That's just how Trinidadians are, unfortunately. And then, of course, we have a dog, and my dog was getting ready to pummel that iguana. But what we did, my dad just went up, tied the dog so that she was away from everybody for a second. And then we put a little water, as I know Mr. Mead always tells us, so if you can't get the animal out, water upsets them. So spray a little water on them, and it'll just scurry away. So scurry away into the bushes, past where the dog is able to go. So I thought that was really, it looked happy because it was trying to climb up the wall to get to the other side to where the bush was, but it couldn't stay. It was too heavy, but it couldn't hold its weight up for such a long period of time. It kept dropping back down, which was so sad. But eventually, after we tied the dog, we kind of coaxed it on, and then afterwards a little bit of water, not much, a little bit of water, sprayed it away, and it went. And I hope the iguana is doing well still, and nobody caught it, because that'll just defeat the purpose.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, well, that's nice though. Y'all did a good deed.
You guys let the animals.
For sure.
Sometimes I know they're a nuisance, because it's like, oh my God, they smell bad, they do this, they poop here, whatever. But find a way to just get them out of your space, but keep them alive as best as possible. Yeah, because I mean, I like to think of it like this. What if we're the animals to like an alien race or something like that? You know, we're just going about our business, doing whatever, and every single time we annoy one of them or inconvenience one of them, they choose to kill us. We don't want that. And then again, we're not aliens to the animals. We're animals as well. We're supposed to be living amongst them, so we need to live in harmony. Now, I'm not saying that every single time a lizard comes by my room or something like that, I'm not going to scream in horror and terror and fear. I am, but I'm not going to kill the lizard, and you shouldn't either. Okay, whether your thing is lizards or spiders or snakes, like myself, there's no need to kill it. As Mr. Mead always says, find a way to get it out of your house, call the center if necessary, if you can't handle it, and don't kill it, don't engage with it, leave it, move on. Yeah.
Well said. Well said. So I actually have one more story here that I think is an honorable mention as well. This is concerning as you may know or may not know, there has been some devastating floods in Texas, and it has claimed the lives of many, many people, as well as many, many people are missing, and they're still searching. Some people have been found, some have not. So there is a story that came out of that. It's a Coast Guard Scott Ruskin. He rescued and saved 165 people in these floods, right? So by swimming, right? So, so during the flash floods in Central Texas over the July 4th weekend, Petty Officer Scott Ruskin, a recently qualified Coast Guard rescue swimmer, was deployed to Camp Mystic, an all-girls Christian summer camp near the Guadalupe River. When water levels surged rapidly, bridges and roads collapsed, making boat rescues impossible. Ruskin was the only first responder on site and took charge of triaging and evacuating frightened campers in groups of 10 to 15 to wait on helicopters, ultimately leading 165 people to safety. Despite brutal conditions, including flight delays in treacherous weather, no cell or radio communications for about 3 hours, and widespread panic, Ruskin stayed calm and focused, soothing children and coordinating the airlift. He said, I quote, "I pushed any fear aside," unquote. He later said, emphasizing that the children's bravery kept him grounded as well. That was really nice. The tragic flood, which saw the Guadalupe River rise more than 26 feet within an hour, claimed over 120 lives across Central Texas, including 27 campers and counselors at Camp Mystic. But amid the sorrow, Ruskin's actions have been widely praised. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem called him an American hero, though Ruskin himself credited the camp staff and the resilient children for their courage. So
beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
Perseverance in spite of whatever they say, what horrible circumstances we're going through.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but
just the story itself, you know, what's happening or what has been happening in Texas, in Central Texas, it's so heart-wrenching, and to see when you see all the pictures of the faces of real people who have died, who have been found but found dead, you know, and who have not been found, it hurts. So to see a story like this come out of such a devastating scene, you know, it is nice that it gives people hope, and to know that somebody put their life on the line, as they always, I mean, everybody who has been found thus far was found by somebody who put their life on the line. And these are the things that we have to, you know, talk about and give credit to. The people that do things like these, the rescuers, the fire department, the police officers, the petty officers, Coast Guard, you know.
Yeah, people might say it's their job to do it, but at the same time, they're still putting their lives on the line. They're still doing something that's absolutely heroic. And I have another story actually along these lines that I came across on TikTok yesterday. It's very short. A man who risked his life in Paris, France, to save 6 people from the 6th floor of a burning apartment in France. And you know, when people say, oh, he risked his life, he saved 6 people. He saved 6 individuals, an entire family. The guy's name is Fousseynou Cissé. He is French, and I did my best to not butcher that pronunciation. He was standing on a narrow ledge. He walked out of his window. He was standing on a very narrow ledge, and he made his way towards the other apartment window, smoke-filled, where mother was kind of taking off her small children to hand to him, and he was handing back to whoever was at the other window. So it was like this chain line of moving people to safety, but the man was on the ledge. It wasn't any big ledge. It wasn't a pavement. No, it was a small thing that he had to balance himself on, and he was in the middle of the 2 windows, taking the child and bringing them to safety, taking the child, bringing them to safety, and he did that for 6 people, including the mother, and I believe it was the grandmother. So in the beginning of the video, you just see this man come outside of his window and hold 2 babies over, a baby over a ledge, and hand it to another man. Like, it was insane to see. I probably watched the video 16 times, and then I read it another 16 times because it was amazing to see. He could have fell. People could have fell. It could have been horrible. But he was a strong man, tall man, he kept his balance, and he did what he had to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Same thing. Like these are heroes that we have to mention. That was really nice. He put his life on the line.
Yeah. And when he was interviewed, he said, "I didn't ask myself the question. There were lives at stake. I didn't calculate." Cisse told La Pollution when it was on Sunday. Yeah. Yeah, he didn't even think. He just did. I think that's something that we can always take away. We can take away for ourselves to do. Go about your day today and try to do something nice for somebody. I'm not saying go on the ledge and say that. That's not what you said. But try to do something nice for somebody today.
Make somebody smile. Something as simple as a smile can brighten someone's day and, turn it around completely. You never know. Give somebody a compliment. Something that simple can make a big difference.
Buy somebody a donut, yeah. I challenge you today, WSN AM Prime viewers, to make somebody's day today. Buy somebody a donut. Tell them they look nice. Tell them they smell nice. That's a really good compliment. Yeah. Do something like that today. It's Feel Good Friday, so not only make somebody else feel good, but in the process, make yourself feel good as well.
Lovely. So, are we going to wrap there? We can wrap there. Yeah?
That brings us to the end of our show today.
Yes. So, for this morning.
All right, so you can engage with us on WESN CC, WESN TV, or you can WhatsApp the number that you will be seeing on your screen shortly. If you're not seeing it right now, 682-9376, 682-9376. You can also head to Instagram. You can get Naomi at Naomi McNish or Jada, myself at I am Jada McLeod on Instagram, where you can engage with us and tell us anything that you want to, anything you want to see, any suggestions for discussions or conversations that you would like to hear. Go ahead and do so right now.
Nice. So as we close our quote for today, just one small positive thought in the morning can change your whole day. So I tried to stay on trend there. That is a quote by Dalai Lama. So just one small positive thought in the morning can change your whole day. So your thoughts are very important. Start your day with a positive thought and let the rest of the day follow suit.
And even if you don't get a chance to, like, I had a rocky morning. So one thing I like to do is break up my day into quarters or into parts. So if I don't have a good start to the day at 5 o'clock, then at 10 o'clock I will reset, and that will be my new start of the day. So I will think something positive then, and then I have good thoughts for the rest of the day. So remember, you can always restart. As long as you're breathing, you can always restart. It's up to you.
I like that, Jada. I like that. All right, guys. So that's all for this morning. Stay safe, stay inspired, stay informed, and stay close by as we have Sean Michael Small on the hour of 8 o'clock with Talking Point. Also, do not forget, we will be at the TIC Conference 2025, booth number 229 on all 3 days, the 17th, the 18th, and the 19th. Come by, check us out, talk to us, interact. We have a lot in store for you on those 3 days. Do we have the flyer? No? Okay. So, yeah. All right, guys. So we'll see you back here again Monday morning. Thanks for staying with us. Bye-bye.
WESN.
Get ready for the biggest business-to-business event of the year. The Trade and Investment Convention, happening on July 17th to 19th at the Centre of Excellence in the Koya. Doors open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on business days and 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Consumer Day. Dress code in effect for business days. Park and ride available from Constantine Park and UETGR North Car Park all days, and NAM Devco on the 17th and 19th. Sponsored by the Ministry of Trade,